Congressman Elijah Cummings of Maryland is the ranking Democrat on the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee. Congressman, allow me to share with you what House Speaker John Boehner's office said today. They issued a statement about the rising stakes, and they said the White House decision to invoke executive privilege implies that White House officials were either involved in Fast and Furious or the cover-up that followed. What, sir, is your response?
I am so saddened that Speaker Boehner would say that. I wish he would spend some time in our committee and he'd realize that a lot of this is based on politics and simply not on facts. This is unprecedented. We've never had an attorney general to be found in contempt, and we've never had a situation where a president asserted executive privilege and the vote went forward. Again, I think it's very unfortunate. The attorney general has sat down with the Chairman Issa, has made it clear that he wants to cooperate, will cooperate with him and work with him. But again, here's an attorney general who has produced 7,600 pages of documents, gone through all kinds of over 2 million emails, has appeared before Congress 9 times in 16 months, and then when Fast and Furious, when he learned of the tactics, he immediately stopped that operation and he and ordered his own investigation. This did not have to be. I think basically we had a situation today where Chairman Issa was saying our way or the highway. And it's so sad that we are in the political situation that we're in with the partisan divide that we have. As you know, this was a vote, every vote, including amendments, were strictly on party lines. You couldn't get one Democrat to agree with this because we knew that it was unprecedented and that it was unfair, and we knew that this Attorney General was trying to work with Chairman Issa. But at the same time, understand, as the Attorney General has said in the meeting that we had the other day, he said, "Look, this is my watch. I want to cooperate, but there are certain things that I have to protect as a part of my job, and these are things that Attorney Generals in history, all throughout history, have protected, like certain notes that were, communicated between deliberative type notes that they might establish in trying to work out various things."
Is it possible, in your view, for a determination to be made by some of the committee members as to whether there was a cover-up or whether there was a retaliation against the whistleblower without a production of the additional information? Do they already have enough where they can glean the answer to those seemingly legitimate questions?
Well, we already have information. The Attorney General provided 1,000 pages to explain this whole issue of whether there was a cover-up. He already did that, even provided them with some documents they didn't even request. As far as any type of retaliation against witnesses, again, he has made it clear that he's willing to provide documents, would sit down and explain those documents, so I think that again, those things are available.
I get
but let me tell you one other thing.
Sure.
It's interesting, the executive privilege, when the president asserted the executive privilege, he did not include documents that might be useful in determining whether or not there was any type of retaliation with regard to whistleblowers. But go ahead.
I get, sir, that you're saying this is driven by partisanship on the part of the GOP-controlled House. By the president invoking executive privilege, I think this takes this issue from that which it has been a stalking horse for conservatives thus far to something that will now be an issue front and center in the 2012 presidential race. What's your assessment of the political risk involved by the president invoking executive privilege?
And I think that in the end, I think that when all the dust settles, this matter will be resolved. I don't think it'll be that much of a significant issue. I just don't. I think that, again, when the dust clears, people will see that the Attorney General has bent over backwards trying to work with the chairman and others.
Understood. Thank you, Congressman Elijah Cummings. We appreciate it. Ranking member of the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee. Before voting to hold Attorney General Holder in contempt of Congress, passions ran high in the House Oversight Committee. Here's just a sampling.
The House of Representatives has never, in our long history, held an Attorney General in contempt. And I am horrified that you are going forward with this contempt charge.
The President of the United States has claimed executive privilege. That brings into question whether or not Eric Holder knew about it, and how much did the President know about this?
This is not about Eric Holder. It is about the Department of Justice and justice in the United States of America. Have the guts. I hope we have the guts and the perseverance to get to the bottom of this.
In all of my 30 years of being in the United States Congress, the way that he was treated when he was here testifying before this committee, I must admit, I've never seen anybody treated in that fashion.
Congressman Patrick Meehan is a Pennsylvania Republican. Congressman, good to see you. Has Eric Holder been disrespected by your committee previously?
Well, Mike, I don't believe he's been disrespected by the committee, and we really can't look at this as something about Eric Holder. What we really need to be looking at this is an investigation into tactics by the ATF, which clearly violated department policy, which led to the death of a border agent, who was left to bleed out in the desert. And we're trying to get to the bottom of a situation that same Attorney General has identified as fatally flawed.
But I guess I asked the question because you heard Congressman Cummings say that he thinks this is partisan driven. There have been references made as well to him having the Attorney General of the United States having been referred to as a liar by Chairman Issa. And so, it takes on a life of its own that it's antipathy driven. You say no to that.
Well, I certainly try to separate myself from that, and I think in the passion and the news clips that will be generated, people will look for those moments in which there are sort of, high-tension things that are said. But the fact of the matter is a great deal of discussion related to the facts, or basically the absence of facts that are relevant to a very, very important issue. And it was effectively, what did the people in the highest levels of the Justice Department know with respect to this investigation, and what kind of an active role did they play in the direction of the activities which have violated department policy and again led to not just the deaths of border agent Terry, but literally hundreds of deaths on the other side of the border.
Congressman, in a letter to the president, Attorney General Eric Holder said complying with Congressman Issa's subpoena would have a chilling effect. Here's what he wrote. It would inhibit the candor of such executive branch deliberations in the future and significantly impair the executive branch's ability to respond independently and effectively to congressional oversight. Respond to that criticism and concern.
Well, it's an issue that the court has basically dealt with recently, and I happened to be in the Justice Department, or soon had left it, when a lot of these same questions were being asked, and the court determined that some of those deliberations were not protected information from the executive privilege. So it's advice to the president himself. There's real questions about the extent to which these will be covered by that kind of an invocation. But in the end, it's really a shame that we have to get here in the first place. The request for simple documentation that may help us to understand more about the facts is what's lacking.
Congressman Patrick Meehan, thank you for your time.
Hey, great to be with you, Mike. Thank you.